Hey guys, welcome back to Upkeep. This week we are all playing decks with partner commanders. Kind of, we'll get to that in a moment. Let's just go ahead and jump in and see what this game is like having an extra card in your opening hand essentially. Today I am playing Ravos and Kamal. This is my human typal deck. I played this back when we played Plane Chase last summer, and I've upgraded the deck a little bit, and hopefully we have a little bit more of a chance to scrape out a win. See how it goes.
Hey guys, it's Steven here, and today I'm going to be playing Brallin and Shabraz. You've seen this deck a couple times on this channel already. It has won an episode back on Freedom Week. I made a few changes to it, made the land base a little bit better, switched out a couple other cards that would be great in the deck. We'll see how it does this time.
Hey guys, Preston here. Today I'm going to be playing Lulu and Clancrafter. It's an artifact sacrifice deck where I want to pump out a bunch of cheap artifacts, sacrifice them quickly, make my creatures big, and swing out on my opponents. Now, I know this isn't technically a partner commander, but it's close enough that the boys all agreed that I could play it.
Hey guys, Tommy back for another episode. Today, I'm going to be playing Morgan's deck, actually. It's the partners of Ludovic, Nero Alchemist, and Sengir the Dark Baron. It's all about goading your opponent's creatures and incentivizing them to attack each other and leave me alone while I get all the value from it. So, curious to see how it goes? Let's check it out.
If you like Geek and Seek and would like to continue seeing us make videos, consider becoming a patron. Joining us on Patreon also means you get to join us on Discord where we can hang out and talk Magic. And if you can't support us financially, you can help us out by just checking out some of our other videos and interacting by liking and subscribing.
Thank you, Steve.
What was wrong with mine?
All right, Preston, you won the dice roll. Start us off.
Fine. Artificer's Assistant. It's a 1/1 flying bird. Whenever I cast a historic spell, I scry 1. Pass.
Cool.
Bolt the bird.
I'll kill you.
Ta-da. Play the Myriad Landscape, enters tapped, pass.
Okay. I'll play an Arctic Tree Line, enters tapped, and I will pass.
I'm going to play Temple of Triumph. It enters tapped when it's battlefield. I scry 1. That'll be the end.
Planes. I'm going to pay 2 for Sword of the Animist. It's a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, equip 2. Whenever equipped creature attacks, I can search my library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tapped, and shuffle. That is a historic spell, so I will scry 1. Put that to the bottom. Steven won last time, so he gets hit for 1.
Okay.
That seems fair.
We don't, no. If I take the 1, whatever, but I'm just saying, we shouldn't hold grudges in between games.
Team up with Preston.
Wait, what?
There you go.
Then I will be passing.
Command Tower, and then for 2, a Fell War Stone.
Oh my god.
Pass.
You had a pretty good turn too, but for 1, I'm gonna cast a Soul Ring, and then I'm gonna play a Command Tower as my land for the turn, and then for a green and 2, I'm gonna play a Tireless Tracker.
What?
Gross.
It's a 3/2 that says whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, I investigate, and whenever I sacrifice a clue, I put a +1/+1 counter on it as the turn.
I'm gonna play Frostboil Snarl as my land for turn. When it's the battlefield, I may reveal an island or mountain. Island?
I believe you.
Island?
I believe it.
Anyone
I'll
believes?
allow
Okay.
it. I'll allow it.
I'll pay 2 to play Tectonic Reformation. Each land in my hand has cycle for red.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
I'm going to play Arch of Araska as my land for turn.
Okay.
So I'm going to pay 2, equip Sword of the Animist onto Artificer's Assistant, and then I'm going to swing 2 at Morgan, because he got that Tireless.
I take 2.
When it attacks, I get to go find a basic put on the battlefield. Yes. Pay 1 for the bauble.
Oh, nice.
Then I will scry 1. We can keep that on top. Okay. Pass.
Got a Mountain for 4. Solemn Simulacrum. Enters battlefield, find a basic, put it on the battlefield, tapped, shuffle.
Anything else?
No, I'll pass.
Okay.
Schwamp.
I'm gonna play an Unclaimed Territory as my land for the turn. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. I'll choose humans. It taps for a colorless, or I can tap it for 1 mana of any color if I am casting a human. When that enters the battlefield, it will trigger the Tireless Tracker, and I will create a clue token. We're gonna go ahead and pay 2 to sacrifice that clue to draw a card. Gonna put a 1/1 counter on the
As soon as you
Tireless
cut
Tracker. Tommy, do you want to draw a card?
Sure, I'll take a card.
I'll swing at you for 4.
Well, hold on. I didn't think that was part of the deal.
Yeah, you block with the Solemn. It dies. You draw a card.
Oh, yeah. I'll block with the Solemn. I thought you had an effect that would draw me a card and get you something.
Okay.
Technically, you did.
One of each of my colors. I'm going to cast Anafenza, the Foremost. It's a 4/4. Whenever it attacks, I put a 1/1 counter on another target tapped creature I control. And then if a creature card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. And I will pass.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that last part? Oh, no.
I don't think I like that.
No, we don't like that at all, especially with what I'm going to be doing.
I mean, it's Steven's job to get rid of it because he cares the most.
Played an island as my land for turn, and I think that's it.
Okay.
Draw my card for turn. I'm going to pay 3 for a Dark Steel Ingot. It is an artifact that is indestructible and I can tap for 1 mana of any color. Then I'm going to go to combat. I haven't hit Tommy yet, but Morgan's got a much scarier looking board already, so another 2 in the air.
Sure.
And then when that happens, I get to do the Sword of the Animus trigger, and I'm going to pay 2 to do the Wayfarer's Bauble at the same time.
Just to save time.
Yep, 2 planes. I was supposed to scry technically, but I shuffled after, so it didn't really matter. Pass.
Draw. We're gonna do the Looter Ilkor. 1/1 with Shadow. Creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with Shadow. And whenever it deals damage to an opponent, I draw a card, then discard a card. For 1 red, tap that for a blue. I'm also gonna bring out Ludovic.
Nice.
1 for beginning of each player's end step. That player may draw a card if a player other than me lost life this turn. So don't hit me and you can draw a card. Pass.
Well, actually, I can hit you. I just also have to hit someone else.
Well, true.
Got you there.
I'll play a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth as my land for the turn. That's going to give me a clue token. I'm just going to go ahead and pay 2 to sacrifice it to draw a card, which will put a 1/1 counter on the Tireless Tracker. Go to combat. I'm going to swing at Steven for 4,
Hey,
and I'm going to
we're
swing
gonna
at
team up on Preston.
And I'm going to swing at Preston for 5 on attacks, and Offenza is going to put a 1/1 counter on Tireless Tracker. So Preston's taking 6, and Steven's taking 4.
On your,
And
on your
my-
end step, you get a card from Ludovic.
Yep.
On your end step, I'm gonna pay 3 fast. I discard a card if I do draw a card. So I will discard Faithless Looting and then draw 2. Then I'll tap Upkeep, draw. I'll play an island as my land for turn. Then I'll pay 2 to play Merfolk Looter. 1/1, I can tap and draw a card, then discard a card. That will be the end of my turn.
Swing at Morgan again.
Stop it!
You hit me. Go find a basic.
I'm okay with this back and forth between you.
And I'm gonna pay 1 colorless to cast Soul Ring. When I do that, I get to scry. Keep that. Pay 4 to bring out Lulu, Loyal Holy Font. 3/2 with flying. At the beginning of my end step, if a permanent I control left the battlefield this turn, I put a +1/+1 count on each tapped creature I control, then untap them. Go to my end step and draw because I
You'll
hit
draw a
Morgan.
card because of Ludovic. Pay 2, tap and sack the Myriad Landscape. 2 islands. While I'm shuffling, I'm going to attack with Looter Ilkor. I'm going to attack Morgan.
What is wrong with you guys?
For 1 damage, and I want to draw a card. On damage from Looter Ilkor, I will draw a card and discard a card. I feel like there's a right and a wrong answer here, and I'm probably going to choose the wrong answer, but I'm going to discard the Stuffy Doll.
And
then
it's going to get exiled because of Anafenza.
second main, I'm going to play this Storm-Carved Coast as my land for the turn. End step, draw a card off of Ludovic. Pass.
2 and a green, I'm going to cast Realm Walker. It's a 2/3 with Changeling, so it's all creature types. If it enters the battlefield, I choose a creature type, I'll choose humans. I may look at the top card of my library anytime, and I may cast creatures of the chosen type from the top of my library. That's not going to work.
He's going to do the Jason thing.
I want to play a Brush Lens as my land for the turn. That's going to create me a clue token, and I'll go ahead and pay 2 to sacrifice the clue token to put a counter on the Tireless Tracker and draw a card. Look at the top card of my library. Damn it.
If you don't hit me, I don't hit you.
Momentary truce then?
Yeah, for sure.
What's happening?
Just to even the playing field, because Tommy's still at starting, I'm going to swing Anafenza at Steven. I'm going to send Tireless Tracker at Tommy. Anafenza is going to trigger. I'll put another counter on the Tireless Tracker. So that's 8 coming at Tommy and 4 coming at Steven.
I don't want to take 8 damage.
Okay, while we're trying to figure that out, I'm gonna pay a blue and a white to play Faithful Mending. I gain 2 life, I draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the 8.
And what are you discarding?
We're putting Pizard, Trade March, and Champion of Wits.
Okay, those will get exiled because of
into
Anafenza.
exile.
Go to end step. I will draw a card because of Tommy's commander, and I will have to discard down to hand size. I will discard a Snowfield Sinkhole. Go ahead, Steven.
Pay 4 to play Solemn Simulacrum, fetch my library for a basic land. I'll do Plains. Then I'm gonna play Temple of Enlightenment as my land for turn. It's tapped and it's battlefield. I scry 1.
In response, I'm going to look at the top card of my library.
I want to keep that though. I guess I'm just gonna pass for now.
Alright, so first things first, I am the realist. Blue and 1, bring out Clan Crafter. Commander creatures I own have paid 2 generic, sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature and draw a card. Then I am going to pay 2 with my Soul Ring, sack the Soul Ring to put a +1/+1 counter on Lulu and draw a card.
The cojones to sack your own Soul Ring.
White and 1 for an Anok Boundkin. It's a 2/1 with Outlast. I can put a +1/+1 counter on sorcery speed if I tap it and pay that Outlast cost. And then it says each creature I control with a +1/+1 counter on it has first strike. Then I'm going to pay 2 white, together forever. When it ends battlefield, support 2, so put a +1/+1 counter on it up to 2 target creatures, and then I can pay 1, choose target creature with the counter on it. When that creature dies this turn, return that card to its owner's hand. So now all of these guys have first strike. So Lulu at Steven, and the bird at Tommy, and I get to go find a basic. I'm gonna go to my end step, and I'm gonna untap my tapped creatures and put +1/+1 counters on them because the permanent left the battlefield this turn. And I get to draw a card because I hit someone that wasn't Tommy.
Yep. Draw. We're gonna play this very pretty mountain. I should have played this in a different order, but it's fine. 4, a red, and a red. Geode Rager. 4/3 with first strike. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, goad each creature target player controls.
That might be worth using a take back counter on.
Yeah.
Goad Steven's pathetic little boys.
So then that mountain enters, triggers the Geode Rager. I'm gonna go to all of Preston's creatures. Swing it at Preston. When it deals damage to you, I draw a card and discard a card. I'm gonna discard the Demir Signet and pass. Oh, and I'll draw a card off of Ludovic.
After I draw for turn, I'm going to look at the top card of my library. I want to play a snow-covered plains as my land for the turn. That's going to give me a clue token. I'm just going to go ahead and pay 2 to crack that clue, put another counter on the Tireless Tracker to draw a card. And I want to look at the top card of my library. That's a pretty good one. For 3 from the top of my deck, I'm going to cast Mentor of the Meek. It's a 2/2 that says whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under my control, I'm going to pay 1. If I do, I draw a card. And I'm going to look at the top card of my library. Dang. All right, we're going to go to combat. Say if you want to draw a card. You don't?
If you only attack me with one thing, then fine.
Anafenza and Realm Walker are going to go at Steven, and Tireless Tracker is going to go at Tommy. Anafenza trigger, I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on Realm Walker.
I'll block with Solemn Simulacrum, and I'll block this one with Merfolk Looter. And in response, I'll tap Merfolk Looter to draw a card and discard a card. I don't want to discard any of these cards. I think I'm getting rid of Path to Exile. Solemn Simulacrum will die, and then I'll draw a card.
I don't want to go down to 20. We're gonna block with Ludovic.
Okay, that's it for me, homies. Pass. I have 8 cards in hand. I will discard a Woodland Chasm.
I'll play Sundown Pass as my land for turn. It does not enter the battlefield type because I control 2 or more other lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna play Time Wipe. Just to destroy all creatures. You better not counter it.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to Arcane Denial that.
Dang!
Sorry, I couldn't let that happen.
Could.
No, I really couldn't.
But you could. Pay a red, cycle Forgotten Cave, draw a card.
Oh my god, thank goodness. 2 cards. Can you draw your 2 cards, Steven? Island. Abzan Falconeer. It's a 2/3 human soldier with Outlast, so I can pay 1 and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on it at sorcery speed. And then each creature I control with a +1/+1 counter on it has flying. Pay 2, and then sacrifice the Dark Shield and get to draw a card and put a +1/+1 counter on my commander. White 1, 2. Dig Site Engineer. 3/3. Whenever I cast an artifact spell, I can pay 2. If I do, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact I control.
Good old Karnstrucks.
Now my creatures are goaded.
Be careful of what goes where.
Well, I'm definitely sending the bird your way.
Sure.
And then the other 2 are going at Stave. 6 commander damage +3. And when that attacks, I get to go find a basic. Go to my end step. All my tapped creatures become untapped and get a counter.
Upkeep. Draw. Recast Ludovic. 2 and a black. We're going to cast Ghoulish Impetus on Ludovic.
That's an interesting choice. It gets +1/+1, Death Touch, and is goaded. And then whenever the enchanted creature dies, you put that back to your hand, I think.
To the battlefield, beginning of the next end step.
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to do that on your Tireless Tracker.
Ghoulish Impetus onto the Tireless Tracker.
Also, we'll play Temple of Malice. Enters tapped. Scry 1. Keep that on top. Landfall trigger. The other 2 of Morgan's I'm not really scared of, so I'm going to go ahead and do Preston again. Preston, you're going to take the one from the Looter Ilkor. I think I'll attack you, Morgan, with
The Rager.
The Rager. Well, you decide. I'm going to draw a card and discard a card off the Looter Ilkor.
I can justify taking the 4.
Fair enough. All right. But I think I'm going to discard the misleading signpost. Draw a card off of Ludovic, and then I will pass.
For green and a white, I'm going to cast Rite of Harmony. Whenever a creature or enchantment enters the battlefield under my control this turn, I draw a card. Yeah, I played it last game too.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a Field of the Dead as my land for the turn.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to create a zombie token when it enters, and that will trigger the Rite of Harmony, so I'll draw a card. I'm going to look at the top card of my library. And then Mentor of the Meek trigger on the stack. I will go ahead and pay 1. I'll have 1 floating, so I'll draw a card from that as well. I'm going to look at the top card of my library. Oh, and And Tireless Tracker also gave me a clue token. I'm going to use that one floating and a green to cast Explore to draw a card, and I may play an additional land this turn. I'll play a snow-covered forest as that additional land, so I'll create another zombie token, and I will get another clue from the Tireless Tracker. I will draw a card off of the Rite of Harmony when that zombie enters. Mentor of the Meek trigger on the stack. I'm going to look at the top card of my library. I'm not going to pay. I'm not trying to wipe Steven off the face of the earth.
Yeah, please don't. I just want to play Magic.
I mean, he kind of has to hit you with the big one, though, is the problem.
That
This
one's
is
goated.
Everything else.
He has to swing that at one of you two.
We're going to send Realm Walker, Mentor of the Meek, and Anafenza all at Tommy.
Yep.
Anafenza trigger. I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on the Mentor of the Meek. And then Tireless Tracker has to go at Steven.
No, it doesn't.
Alright.
You should feel really bad about that.
I do.
Take it.
The second main, I'm going to pay 1 and a white for a Drain of Magistrate. It's a 1/3 that says my opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hand. I will draw a card from the Rite of Flourishing. Mentor of the Meek trigger is going to go on the stack. I'm going to look at the top card of my library. I'm not going to pay for the Mentor of the Meek. I'm going to pass. I have 8 cards in hand. I'll discard a Swamp. Wait, on end step, I draw a card off of Ludovic.
True.
So I actually have to
you
discard.
really needed
I actually have
that.
to discard an additional card.
Discard
I'll discard
another
a
card.
snow-covered Swamp.
Azorius Signet.
If Morgan didn't have Anafenza out, I might have let that board wipe happen.
I'm so annoyed with the goat stuff. I want a board wipe.
I'm gonna play the Bath Song. Saga. 1 and 2 say I draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Nobody gets to 3. I shuffle any number of target cards from my graveyard into my library, and I add 2 blue mana. So I'll draw 2, then I'll have to discard 2. Except for Boots and Murder of Crows. I think that's all I can do.
Before you pass, I'm gonna pay 2 to sacrifice the sword, draw a card, and make my commander bigger. Darksteel Citadel will be my land for the turn. It's an artifact land with indestructible. I'm gonna pay 2, sacrifice the Darksteel Citadel, draw a card, and make up my commander bigger. We're gonna go to combat.
I also would feel really bad if you did kill Steven right now, so like maybe don't.
But I always keep people alive because I feel bad, and I haven't won almost any games this season. So 10 at Steven, and then the other 2 are going at Morgan.
Okay, Steven. This is the content creator in me speaking. I want your deck to do a little bit more before you die. I'm going to pay a black and a green. I'm going to Assassin's Trophy the bird so that you will go to 1 instead of die. Does it resolve?
Well, I'm gonna be paying 1 so that when it dies this turn, I return it to my hand. But yes, it does resolve.
Well, the Assassin's Trophy still lets you find a basic land to put onto the battlefield.
I'm not trying to be mean, Steven. I promise.
I know, it's just I want my deck to do what the deck is supposed to do in this game.
And I guess I'm taking 9 commander damage from Preston.
Alright, I'm gonna pay 4 for Helm of the Host.
Oh,
That's problematic.
that is a problem.
At my end step, all my tapped creatures get untapped and get counters.
You'll also draw a card off of Ludovic.
Yes, I will.
Well, Tommy, board wipe.
2 red, chain reaction, deals X damage to each creature, where X is the number of creatures on the battlefield. 14 damage to each creature.
I'm going to be paying 4 so that when all of my creatures die, they go back to hand.
1, 2, and a black. Cunning Rhetoric. Protection. Protection. Whenever an opponent attacks me and or one or more planeswalkers I control, exile the top card of that player's library. I may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. I'm gonna pass.
Okay.
On my end step, this will come back to the battlefield, but because it's an aura, there's no creature for it to hit, so it will just die again.
Team up on Preston.
I think so, yeah.
Team up on Preston. Let's
What did
go.
Preston do?
For white, a green, and 2, I'm going to flash back the Rite of Harmony. Whenever a creature or enchantment enters the battlefield under my control this turn, I draw a card. I'm going to shock in a Godless Shrine. Field of the Dead is going to give me a zombie, so I'll draw a card from the Rite of Harmony. I was gonna do something awesome, but I need 1 more mana that's not restricted to green. If this was any other dual land, basically, or if I had Urberg. Well, this is gonna be a lot less explosive than I had hoped. Green, green, white, Augur of Autumn, draw a card from the Rite of Harmony. I may look at the top card of my library at any time. I may play lands from the top of my library, and as long as I control 3 or more different creatures with different power, I may cast creatures from the top of my library. That's not gonna work. Pay 2 to crack a clue, to draw a card, and then I'm gonna pay white, white to play the card I just drew, which is a Knight of the White Orchid. I will draw a card off of the Rite of Harmony. Does anyone have more lands than me?
Okay, yeah, I have more.
Okay, so I get to go find a Plains, just a normal basic Plains, that's going to trigger Field of the Dead, so I'll get another zombie token, so I'll draw another card off the Rite of Harmony. And then for a white, we will cast an Esper Sentinel, so I'll draw another card off the right. I'm going to pass the turn. I'm going to have to discard 2 cards. So
Guys, I only made 5 creatures right after a board wipe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Draw, and then this will go up to 2 and I'll draw another 2 and discard a card. Play Plains as my land for turn. 5. Shabraz is coming in. 3/3 with flying. Whenever I draw a card, I put a 1/1 counter on him and I gain a life. I'm gonna flashback Faithful Mending. Gain 2, draw 2, discard 2, draw 2, which will put 2 counters on Shabraz. I gain another 2. Let's discard Thrill of Possibility. I guess Monastery Siege. So that's it, champ.
Okay. Blue for an Artificer's Assistant. 3 for a Replicating Ring. It's a snow artifact. I can tap it for 1 mana of any color. At the beginning of the upkeep, it gets a night counter. And then if it has 8 or more, I remove those counters and make 8 token copies of it. That's a historic spell, so I get to scry 1. I'll keep that plain before I forgo. Abzan Falconeer.
Oh, when you cast this, did you want to pay the 1 for Esper Sentinel?
I will pay the 1.
Okay.
5. Cast both Anok Boundkin and Digsite Engineer. Pass.
4 black. We're gonna bring out Sengir the Dark Baron. 4/4 flyer. Whenever another creature dies, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Sengir, and whenever another player loses the game, I gain life equal to that player's life total as the turn began. 2 and a red. Also play the Agitator Ant. 2/2. At the beginning of my end step, each player may put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature they control. Goad each creature that had counters put on it this way. End step. Anybody want to put 2 +1/+1s on their on a creature?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I mean, it sounds kind of lit to make you have to pay 3 for Esper Sentinel, so...
Pass.
Alright, for 5, we are going to cast a Cathar's Crusade. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, I put a +1/+1 counter on each creature I control.
Yeah, Morgan's gonna win this game.
I'm going to cast Torrens, Fist of the Angels. He's a 2/2 with training, so whenever this creature attacks with another creature with greater power, I put a 1/1 counter on it. And then whenever I cast a creature spell, I put a 1/1 white human soldier creature token onto the battlefield with training. That's going to trigger the Cathar's Crusade, so I'm going to play the +1/+1 counter on each creature I control. Alright, I'm going to play a Shattered Sanctum as my land for the turn. I will make another zombie.
Yeah, this ain't looking good, fellas.
Are we done thinking Preston's the problem?
Oh, Preston's still the problem.
Nope.
I'm going to cast Shamanic Revelation. I draw a card for each creature I control, and then I gain 4 life for each creature that has 4 or greater power.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Now is he the
4,
problem,
5,
Steven?
6.
No, I owe him a debt of
I
gratitude.
hate you so much.
So I'm gonna gain 20 life,
Once again, I'm on your side.
and I'm gonna draw 7 cards. Okay, so Esper Sentinel is goaded, going to Preston, and then I'm also going to send the Knight of the White Orchid at Preston because it has first strike. You have a 2/2 and a 4/4.
2/2 and a 4/4. Also, whenever you attack me, you will exile the top card of your library, and I can play that as long as it's exiled.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wait a minute.
2 zombie tokens and Torrens at you. Training's gonna trigger, and I put a 1/1 counter on Torrens. Here's that top card.
Catilda Dawnheart Prime.
It says protection from werewolves, and then humans I control are mana dorks.
Yeah.
Wait, I just cast Torrens this turn. I can't attack with
I
it.
was gonna say, wait, yeah.
Block the first striker with the one that gives flying, and then I'm just gonna kill your Esper Sentinel with my 5/5 with first strike.
That's alright. A 5/5 Esper Sentinel wasn't long for this world.
Yeah, no. One of the zombies with the Agitator Ant, then take 4.
Okay, pass. I'm gonna have to discard some cards.
The Bath Song will go to 3, and I can shuffle any number of target cards from my graveyard into my library. Monastery Siege, and Time Wipe, and Path to Exile, but I think I'll keep the rest.
Figured out what I'm discarding. I'm discarding a Path of Ancestry, a Kite Sailor, Freebooter, Eternal Witness, Everbreath Caretaker, and Kyler.
There's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
When I drew a card at the beginning of my turn, I put a 1/1 counter on
Or he
Shabraz
has
and gain
stuff
a
to
life.
gain.
4 to cast Brallin, the other commander. 3/3, whenever I discard a card, I can put a 1/1 counter on him, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. I can pay a red to give target Shark trample until end of turn. I will pay a red to cycle Evolving Wilds, because of Tectonic Reformation.
Yeah.
Draw a card. When I do that, I'll put a 1/1 counter on Brallin when I discarded the card, and it'll deal 1 damage to each opponent. And then when I drew a card, I put 1 counter on Shabraz and I gain a life. I'll pay 3 to flashback Faithless Looting to draw 2, then discard 2. And that'll bring Shabraz up to 8. I'll get rid of Ash Barrens and Arcane Signet. Put 2 more 1 counters on Brallin.
So Shabraz does have to attack.
Since I'm goaded, I'm attacking Preston for 11. You pass the turn.
Alright, you gave Morgan a turn. Are you gonna keep doing that or not?
Steven and I are home skills until it's just us, right?
I will deal with Morgan's board if you go after him, Steven.
What? No, don't deal with Morgan's board.
We'll just see what Preston does.
Okay, I'll do it, and I'll just hope Steven does the right thing. Slash the ranks, destroy all creatures and planeswalkers except for commanders.
Well, that stinks.
Cast Call for Unity. Revolt. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, put a Unity counter on it. Creatures I control get +1/+1 for each Unity counter. Then for 4, cast Tashar. Ancestor's Apostle. It's a 2/2 flyer. Whenever I cast a historic spell, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Cool.
Pass.
Alright, this could be very fun.
Oh, this did get a counter on it.
We're gonna overload Spectacular
the hell?
Showdown. Put a double strike counter on target creature, then goad each creature that had a double strike counter put on it this way. Overload. You may cast the spell for its overload cost. If you do, change target to each.
Oh!
Each creature is gonna get double strike and is goaded until my next turn.
Someone's gonna die.
That was the plan, fellas. Sengir is also goaded, so he has to hit someone. I think I'm going to hit Morgan. 8 commander damage?
You're a bastard.
Yeah, pass.
Here's what I'm thinking. You don't send them at me. Send them at Preston.
And
I can board wipe right now. I won't board wipe if you just attack Preston instead.
as of now, I don't know why I'm telling you my plan now. Shabraz at him with trample. Brallin will be at you.
I don't want to board wipe. That's such a boring way to spend my turn. I'm gonna pay 2 to crack my clue to draw a card. That ain't gonna do it, Chief.
Guys, why don't we kill Tommy first?
That'd be really cool.
Okay, so for 6, I'm going to austere command. I'm going to choose destroy all artifacts and destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 4 or greater.
He's so annoying.
Yeah.
It wasn't the wrong move.
For 3, I'm going to cast Aura Shards. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, I may destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Don't like that.
I'm going to play an Urberg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, so all lands are now swamps. You're welcome, Tommy.
Thanks.
Field of the Dead trigger, I'm going to get a zombie token, which means I'm going to get to put a +1/+1 counter on from the Cathar's Crusade, which is also going to trigger the Aura Shard, so I can blow up a artifact or enchantment. I'm going to blow up the thing that lets you bounce stuff back to your hand.
Good choice.
For 2, remember I can tap one of these for green because I have Yavimaya. I'm going to Rampant Growth, so I can find a basic to put onto the battlefield tapped. I'm going to grab a Plains, give me another zombie token, and it will get a +1/+1 counter. The other one will get a +1/+1 counter. We're going to blow up Call for Unity. I wish I'd played this deck more because I've actually done quite a few misplays. Because what I should have done was for white, done this earlier, Lunarch Veteran. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, I gain a life. I'm gonna have all my triggers. Counter, counter, counter. Yeah, now we'll blow up the Claimcrafter. Okay, that's all pass. I know Tommy's playing one of my decks, but I feel obligated to kill him as soon as possible because he keeps making taking away my choices.
Right now is the best opportunity to kill me.
I'm gonna pay 4 to play Shurikai, 1 to tap it.
Create a pilot token.
I'll draw 2 cards and discard a card. Bell Dragon.
Well,
It's supposed to look like a pilot helmet, but it definitely doesn't.
I was gonna say it was actually looking pretty good until the body came.
and then he just kind of phoned it in with the rest of the body.
Pay a red to cycle a mountain, draw a card, and pass a turn.
Show quest the skill. You have a combo?
Not with Shurikai.
Forward for Lulu. Might as well run it out. Gonna cast Golem Foundry. Whenever I cast an artifact spell, this gets a charge counter. I can remove 3 charge counters to make a 3/3 Golem artifact creature token. Then I'm going to pay 6. 3 of it is white. Brilliant Restoration. Return all artifact and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Jesus. I thought it was kind of sus that Clancrafter was in your graveyard.
Yeah.
You know
Ouch,
what?
that's a lot.
I'm gonna play Negate. So never mind that.
You wait till after he takes them all
I had
out.
to think about it.
Pass.
3 propaganda. Creatures can't attack me unless their controller pays 2 for each creature he or she controls. That's for 2 and a red. Blasphemous act.
Goodbye, pilot.
I'm trying to end the game.
I'll pass.
All right, so remember a while ago there was that card that I was trying to cast and then I couldn't because I didn't have the right mana? Well, now, thanks to my lovely friend Urberg, I have the ability to. It's Eerie Ultimatum. I return any number of target permanent cards with different names from my graveyard to the battlefield.
Oh, thank God no one has a counter spell ready.
So we're gonna grab a Lunarch Veteran,
You don't need to name every single one. Just do
Soul
it.
Ring.
Just do it.
Alright, so this is going
Aberbrust
away, those are going away,
Taker.
that's going away, that's going away.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow
They're
everything up. up with
everything.
shards. Let's go down here with triggers. Okay, so unfortunately, Everbrook Caretaker turns it into day. So now
Morgan,
I have to
I gotta keep checking day and night the rest of the game.
This is all going to happen at the same time. So Kyler is going to see all these other humans entering. So it gets 13 +1/+1 counter. So all of my creatures get +13/+13. Kite Sailor Freebooter, who has the most cards in hand. I'm gonna look at Tommy's hand actually. I guess I'll grab Bedevil. There's gonna be like a trillion Mentor of the Meek triggers. I'm not gonna pay for any of them because I'll deck myself or confuse myself. So I'll gain 14 life from the Lunarch Veteran. Everything is gonna get 14 +1/+1 counters because of the Cathar's Crusade. I'm gonna play a land for the turn. Overgrown Farmland, which create me a zombie, so everything gets another +1/+1. Oh, I missed a trigger. Eternal Witness enters the battlefield. I return target card from my graveyard to my hand. I'm gonna grab the Eerie Ultimatum just in case someone is able to pull out a board wipe. Tireless Tracker, it gave me a clue token. I'm just gonna go ahead and pay 2 to crack that clue token. Draw a card. Pass. So if someone finds a board wipe or I win.
Paying 3 to play Thirst of Discovery. I draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards unless I discard a basic land.
I think I have one card that can save us.
Discard these Terramorphic Expanse and Serial Chemister.
I forgot to ask, did you want to pay the 32 for Esper Sentinel?
Yeah, okay, sure.
I'll eat your Esper Sentinel.
Maybe last game I could have, but...
Actually, it's 29. Do you want to pay the 29?
Well, that's more reasonable.
2 for Is It Signal? And then I can't really look through anymore, so I pass.
Well, that's not for well, so let's go digging. Draw a card. Never don't have it.
Oh my god.
You bastard!
Oh my god.
You want to counter this one too?
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna do artifacts, creatures, and enchantments.
Do you want to pay the 29 for Esper Sentinel?
No, you can go ahead and draw that card,
Okay.
buddy. I'm also going to hit graveyards. That way I can put Clancrafter back in the command zone.
Well, now this Eerie Ultimatum in my hand looks kind of sad.
I will be passing the turn.
Thing for 2 in a red. The Komainu Battle Armor. 2/2 artifact creature with menace. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 has menace. Whenever it or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, go to each creature that player controls with reconfigure 4. Pass.
On your end step, I'm going to pay 2 and flash into Cathar's Commando.
He's going commando.
Why is he going commando on us?
Untap Upkeep draw. So for 5, I'm going to cast Stinging Study. I draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the mana value of a commander I own or in the command zone. The question is, do I pay 5 life and draw 5 or 8 life and draw 8? We going in, boys. 8.
Oh, if Morgan loses his game to deck milling, that'd be so good.
For a green and 2, I'm going to cast Azusa La Spotsiki, and I may play 2 additional lands on each of my turns. Trigger Path of Ancestry, I scry 1. I don't need that. You know what, kids? We're going to keep the good times flowing.
What good times.
One of each of my colors, I'm going to Painful Truth to draw another 3 and lose another 3. Let's keep it going, boyos. So for my first land for the turn, I'm going to play Cavern of Souls. When it enters the battlefield, I'll choose humans. It taps for a colorless, or I can pay 1 mana of any color to cast that creature type, and that spell can't be countered. Oh, and that's going to trigger the Field of the Dead, so I'll get a zombie token. For 2, we're going to 3 visits. I find a forest to put onto the battlefield. I'll just grab a basic forest. That will trigger Field of the Dead. I'll get another zombie. My deck is quite small. For my second land for the turn, I'll play a snow-covered forest, so I'll get another zombie token. For 3, I'll cast a Thalia Heretic Cathar. It's a 3/2 with first strike, and creatures and non-basic lands my opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. For a black, a white, and 1, I will cast Campbell, Console of Allocation. It's a 2/3. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life and I gain 2 life. And then for my last land for the turn, I'm going to play a Sandstep Citadel, so I'll get 1 more zombie. Go to combat. I'll hit Preston for 3. And I'll pass. I'll have to discard down.
On your end step, I'm going to pay 1 to Path to Exile that boy.
You still do lose the 2, but...
Alright, this is exiled. I find a basic. So I'll grab a Plains, and that will give me another zombie.
I'm going to play Niv Mizzet.
God.
You're the worst. 5/5 flying. When it deals damage to a player, I may draw a card. I can pay a blue and a red, and it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Go ahead and pay a blue and a red, and have him deal 1 damage to Morgan. And I'll draw a card. Pass.
5. Draw another card. 2, 4, 6 to multi-kick Everflowing Chalice 3 times. Gonna pass.
Black, black, red, Bedevil Thalia.
No!
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go! And then 2 in a red for the Cursed Mirror. As it enters the battlefield, I may have it become a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except that it has haste. I'm going to copy Niv Mizzet.
Kill Steven.
That would be very mean. So I'm gonna swing my definitely real Niv Mizzet at Morgan, the blue and a red, to have it deal an additional damage to.
I would just deal them.
Take that one for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna pay 1 mana, sacrifice Cathar Commando to destroy target artifact.
Damn it. All right. In the second main phase, I'm gonna play this Foreboding Ruins as my land for the turn. Yes.
You suck.
Untap your mana that's almost as tall
Help!
as your.
I'm going to cast Lauren of the Third Path. When it enters the battlefield, I'm going to destroy target artifact.
Wow.
That's going to trigger Path of Ancestry. I get to scry 1. I don't think that's going to do anything. For 4, I'm going to cast a Timeless Witness. It's a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, I return a card from my graveyard to my hand. I will return the Thalia to my hand, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cast it.
Well, I tried, fellas.
For 7, I'm going to cast Kindred Summons. I choose humans, and I will reveal cards until I reveal X number of humans equal to the number of humans I control, and then those go onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of my library
Why
are
not
in order.
squirrels?
I have 4, so
4 squirrels?
Massacre Girl. Oh, that's scary. Enters the battlefield. Each other creature gets -X until end, or -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 until end turn. Oh no!
Ooh,
So you just killed a couple of your own things.
Yeah, you just got
He just cleared his own board by accident.
Zulport Cutthroat is gonna happen though. So each opponent loses 11, and I gain 11.
So Steven's dead.
I'm gonna gain that 11 back with my Teferi's Protection.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna play a Temple Garden as my land for the turn. That's it. Pass.
Terramorphic, crack it, sack it.
You're gonna crack it and sack it.
Yes. Draw another card. 4, 5, 6. Recast Lulu. 4. Recast Claimcrafter. That'll be it.
I don't think this is gonna make any difference, but when I played that Temple Garden, I got a zombie.
Cool.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
4 black, calculating Lich. 5/5 menace. Whenever a creature attacks one of my opponents, that player loses 1 life. 2. Might as well just play the Izzet Signet, because I can. Pass.
Okay. For 2, I'm gonna cast an Arcane Signet, because I guess I can. And then I'll play a Caves of Kolios as my land for the turn. I'll get another zombie token. Preston, I'm gonna swing at you with Massacre Girl and my zombie token that doesn't have Summoning Sickness.
Oh, you lose an extra life from the calculating Lich.
For 7, I'm going to exile Timeless Witness from my graveyard to eternalize it, so it comes back as a 4/4 zombie token copy of itself. And when it enters the battlefield, I return a card to my hand. I'll grab the Eerie Ultimatum, cast the Eerie Ultimatum. So I will return Thalia Heretic Cathar, Adeline Resplendent Cathar, Zulport Cutthroat, Azusa Lost But Seeking, Thalian the Gitrog Monster, Lauren of the Third Path, Cathar Commando, Bazooka Bog. I'm going to exile, I guess, Preston's graveyard. Lauren of the Third Path trigger, I'm going to blow up the Clancrafter.
Stop that.
I guess I pass.
Island to draw another card. Recast Clancrafter. Pay 2. Sack the Everflowing Chalice to draw a card. Make Lulu 1 bigger. We go down swinging.
So I'm going to lose 1 off of your Lich. And then I'm going to pay a white to Swords of Plowshare Lulu.
4 life.
Yeah.
2, 3 for a Palladium Mirror. Pass.
Okay. Where X equals 8. Pull from tomorrow. Draw X cards, then discard a card.
Well, that's
Sure,
a lot
that's
of card
gonna help.
advantage,
4,
except for the fact that I'll
5,
kill you before you get to
6,
use any of them.
7. I'm gonna play this mountain as my land for turn. With that 1 mountain, I'm gonna cast Curse of Opulence on Morgan.
Okay.
I can't wait to swing at it Morgan my next turn.
Yeah.
My go?
5 with menace.
Oh, that's hilarious, Tommy.
Just take it.
I'll just double block with my 2 untapped zombies here. They will both die, which will trigger the Zulport Cutthroat, so I'll gain 2 life and you each lose 2 life.
Yep. Yep.
I think Preston's dead. Draw. I'm just going to play this turn as if I got it. So 5 and cast Ravos, my commander, which is a 2/2 with flying. This is other creatures I control get +1/+1. At the beginning of my upkeep, I may return a creature card from my graveyard to my hand, and then we're gonna go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh my
6,
gosh, you're
7,
gonna play
8.
Kamal.
We'll play Kamal, so that when I go to combat, my creatures get +3/+3 and trample.
No.
I'll just grab a snow-covered plains. Okay, well then for 10, I'll recast them.
I can't do anything about that one.
And then go to combat. Pretty sure Preston's dead.
Yeah.
Yay! Good game!
Whatever.
I kept you alive, you peasant.
And then you killed me.
Well, it feels good to finally get a win. I feel like I could have, there were multiple times that game could have ended a lot sooner, but yeah, you know, board wipes, you know, they're fun. They drag the game out because it's fun. We want to play more Magic, right? Tune in next week. We're going to be talking a little bit more about this game, a little bit more about these decks, unless you're joining us on Patreon and in our Discord, in which case you might be able to see that video a few days early. And then make sure you subscribe so you can see other awesome Commander gameplay as it's coming out. We have a few more episodes left in the season, so we will see you later. Bye.